News, WAOW. Here's what's happening right now.
Congressman Tom Tiffany is set to hold a campaign event in Rib Mountain as he hopes to win support in the race for Wisconsin governor.
And another sunny and nice day outside today. We'll let you know how long this pattern will stick with us coming up.
And later, a look at some upgrades being made to help get you your mail faster. Your News at 5 starts right now.
We've got you covered. This is 9 News at 5.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kyle Pazorski. Topping our news within the next hour, Congressman Tom Tiffany will be holding his first public event since announcing his run for governor. He made the announcement yesterday on a conservative Milwaukee radio show. People had speculated that he would run really ever since Democrat incumbent Governor Tony Evers announced he would not seek a third term this past July. Our own Dylan Eckhart leads us off tonight from the Peterson Barn, where Tiffany will be speaking with his supporters. Dylan?
Yes, Kyle, I am here at the Peterson Barn right behind me, where in a matter of moments, the doors will open to the public and they will be able to hear from Congressman Tom Tiffany, who officially announced his gubernatorial campaign yesterday. The campaign is something that Tiffany has been teasing for months. He had mentioned that a decision will be made by the end of September. Well, here we are as he officially launched his campaign yesterday, several days after he announced this event here in Wausau. Tom Tiffany is a name people here in northern Wisconsin have heard of before, as again, he has represented the 7th Congressional District since 2020 and has served in both the Assembly and Senate within the Wisconsin State Legislature. The doors here again will open at 5:30, followed by Tiffany's speech at 6 p.m. Reporting in Wausau, I'm Dylan Eckhart.
All right, Dylan, thank you. Meanwhile, there continues to be a widening field on the Democratic side of the gubernatorial race. Today, a former state representative announced that they will look to win the support of voters for another time. Brett Halsey first tried running for governor back in 2014, promising to hand out Ku Klux Klan hoods at the Republican Party convention. Halsey now works as an environmental consultant and owns a business leading people in 16-minute workouts. He is also a former Dane County commissioner. This now puts the Democratic field at 6 candidates who have publicly announced a run. And well, there is a lot of election news happening here in Wisconsin with 2 new candidates jumping into the race for governor. Lawmakers are presenting 2 distinct legislative solutions to address voting in our state. At the center of it all is a bill that would change how they process absentee ballots. That's an idea that received both bipartisan support in the past. But Lucas Kim has you covered on why there's conflict this time around.
Representatives on both sides of the aisle are introducing a series of bills that's hoping to modernize voting for Wisconsinites when it comes to an election. But it's already getting some disapproval by some officials.
We are intentionally here together today.
State Assembly lawmakers are proposing to change the voter experience. Republicans are focusing on passing their bill that allows poll workers to start processing ballots the Monday before Tuesday Election Day. They say it would expedite the process of finding out the winner of an election.
I want to make sure that we include a process so we can actually get those results across the finish line before we go to bed, like 43 other states in the country do.
Democrats say they support the Monday morning processing bill, but not in its current form.
It's overloaded. I think if you talk to municipal clerks, a lot of the technical aspects of it are impossible. I'd like to see a cleaner bill, so we can get into the details in committee. Sure.
Senator Mark Spreitzer initially authored the bill in 2019, but doesn't agree with some of the current language, which he says includes some things he doesn't support.
Requiring 2 election officials and at least 1 law enforcement officer every time the drop box is checked, that is not workable in most of our communities. Restrictions on minor mistakes by a witness on somebody's absentee ballot envelope, now once again meaning that their vote would never be counted.
Representatives say that some of the bills in their packages have already been circulating through the Senate and Assembly for several sessions now. They're hoping that both sides of the aisle can come to an agreement this fall session. Reporting at the state capitol, I'm Lucas Kim.
And another nice day, kind of a copy and paste from yesterday. 9 Storm Track meteorologist Jackson Garlick joins us with a first check of the forecast.
Yeah, we've made it to the afternoon with plenty of sunshine, but yesterday, the day before, and today, all starting with that thick fog in parts of the area. Here's a look at our time lapse in Stevens Point from the Auto Select camera. You can see as this restarts, we had some fairly thick fog during the morning hours, eventually letting up to just a few low clouds. And once we hit the afternoon, things really started to brighten up. You can see here we transitioned from cloudy skies to mostly sunny skies. heading into hours like now. You can see this is what it does look like right now in the Wausau area. It's our Jefferson Street Inn and Event Center camera. Currently looking at a temperature around 72 with sunshine. That is a few degrees warmer than average for this time of year. In fact, let's take a look here at the numbers. 72 is much warmer than the average of 66. Our overnight low at 54, also quite a bit milder than averages, which would be down in the 40s for early morning temperatures. So pretty mild outside today, and it will get even milder towards the end of the forecast. You can see sunshine continuing across the state for this afternoon. Our forecast and feel for the rest of today dropping from the 70s into the 50s, eventually 40s for early tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Jackson. Some breaking news. We have learned from multiple reports that former Wisconsin Badgers and Green Bay Packers offensive lineman Bill Ferrario has passed away. Ferrario had just turned 47 on Monday. He was found dead in his home here in Wausau. He started all 50 games of his college career in Madison, earning all Big Ten honors back in 1999 and 2000. Ferrario spent his first 2 pro seasons with the Packers before making brief stops in Washington and Carolina before he ultimately retired in 2005. His obituary did not list a cause of death. 1 person is dead and 2 more injured after police say a gunman opened fire at the Dallas Ice field office this morning. Police say the gunman died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The FBI is now investigating the act as an act of targeted violence. According to the FBI, rounds found near the shooter's body had anti-ice writing on them.
While we're not releasing identities of any victims at this time, what I can confirm for you is no members of law enforcement were hurt during this attack.
The mayor of Dallas is asking the community to remain calm and patient all as the investigation plays out. Security has now been ramped up at other ICE facilities around the country, including at a large outsourced ICE facility in Southern California. Some more local news. The United States Postal Service has been busy around the country making some major upgrades to its facilities. Today we are seeing how one of our local centers is being affected. The new Rothschild Sorting and Delivery Center opened in February of this year, replacing the old center at the downtown Wausau office. The center serves over 100,000 people and makes nearly 40,000 deliveries a day. And now with a new automatic mail sorter, they're able to handle much more mail in a shorter amount of time.
This facility has been entirely remodeled to accommodate more carriers. We have a sorting machine. Our productivity on the sorting machine is roughly 5,000 pieces per hour. Manually, our productivity goal was 250 pieces per hour, so quite a big difference productivity-wise for us.
In addition to the upgrades at the facility, they're also in the process of upgrading their vehicles. This includes putting into service electric vehicles, which can carry more cargo and are safer for drivers making deliveries.
Our fleet was aging, so to replace these vehicles, just better customer service you can expect at a particular time of day on almost all of our routes that you're going to get your mail. In general, an earlier delivery time. You don't have to make multiple trips to the office.
The postmaster added that they are hiring both for full-time and seasonal work. If you're interested in applying, all you got to do is head to USPS's website. We've also got a link up on our website, WAOW.com. The city of Rhinelander is once again trying to find a way to make it safe for people living on the west side of the city to get downtown by walking or biking. According to our news partners at WXPR Radio, the City Council has had some discussions over the couple past years about ways to create a safer route. At Monday night's meeting, 2 routes were proposed to the council. One would create a short boardwalk connecting West Hill Drive to Phillips Street. The other would create a longer gravel or paved path connecting the two.
The biggest thing that I'm more concerned about is the safety factor. Anybody that's driven down Davenport Street, everybody goes faster than what the speed limit is. It's not a safe space to walk. I truly feel that we need to have this move forward for safety's sake.
Concerns about cost, lighting, and the easement needed for the longer path were all raised as well by City Council members.
If Rhinelander wants to be a place that's welcoming to young families like mine, where young families like mine and business owners want to come, want to stay, want to keep their families, it's projects like these that make Rhinelander an attractive place to be. A walkable, bikeable community is an attractive place to be and live.
Several city council members also want to hold a hearing to get public feedback. A Portage County man who is accused of killing his parents has been deemed incompetent for trial. This according to our news partners at WSAU. 35-year-old John Schulfer is accused of killing his parents at a home in rural Portage County back in July. He is facing several felonies, including 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. Those both carry an automatic life sentence. Court officials yesterday noting that he would likely become competent with proper treatment and medication, and he has now been turned over to the Department of Health Services for treatment and will return to court for an update in early December. Road work will continue in Portage County tomorrow on County Highway B. Crews will resurface the roadway from Highway R to about a half-mile east of Kennedy Avenue in Plover. Flaggers will direct traffic as workers mill and repave the road. You should expect delays with traffic stops occurring in one direction at different times. Drivers should also consider alternate routes. The Portage County Highway Department expects to finish the project in 1 day. Coming up here on your News at 5, we take a look at some events taking place in our area and how you can get involved. Plus, we continue our coverage of the Never Forgotten Honor Flight. Stay tuned to see some of the emotional landmarks that they saw.
And lots of sunshine outside today. We'll let you know how long this pleasant weather pattern is set to stick with us. That's coming up after the break.
Welcome back. Tonight we are continuing our coverage of the Never Forgotten Honor Flights, mission number 53. Our reporter Cooper Wild shares some of the premier stops they had along the way and the emotions they all brought to the group. Cooper?
The Never Forgotten Honor Flight was something that will affect these American heroes for life. And perhaps the most important part of the trip was all the landmarks we visited. All 6 of the stops brought their own emotions, but 3 in particular were very impactful.
After the bus left the Lincoln, Korean War, and Vietnam War memorials, it dropped us off next at the World War II Memorial. A beautiful place that represents all 50 states. And although none of these veterans served during that era, they remember its impact.
Very, very exceptional. I mean, where else could you ever go and see something like this? You know, it's something you cannot explain without seeing it.
The next stop was the highlight of many who attended, Arlington Cemetery, where the nation's history is etched in honor across generations of sacrifice. There they witnessed the iconic changing of the guard at the tomb of the unknown soldier.
Very emotional. You could hear a pin drop for at least 25 minutes of the ceremony. The discipline was just unbelievable. Never seen anything like it.
The final major stop was the 9/11 Pentagon Memorial, a stop that brought emotions to everyone.
And these people had no idea what was going to happen to them. Their families sent them off to work. And by 9 o'clock this time, they were not in existence. And that is just almost beyond our belief that it actually happened.
It seemed like each stop brought more emotions than the last. This still isn't the end. I'll have more stories from the Never Forgotten Honor Flight as the week goes on. Reporting in studio, I'm Cooper Wild.
Well, it's almost that time of year again. The 45th annual Cranberry Fest in Eagle River will be the first weekend in October, and they're asking you for your help. The event needs roughly 400 volunteers and more than 2,000 hours of their time to make the festival possible each year. An estimated 10,000 pounds of cranberries are sold during the event, which will be made into an array of delicious foods and drinks. Anyone interested in volunteering their time should call the Eagle River Chamber of Commerce. Their number can be found there at the bottom of your screen, 715-479-6400. Now keep your phone out and scan this QR code right now. This is how you can register for the Rhinelander High School FBLA and DECA Chapter's second annual 5K. This will be the Run for Our Heroes 5K. It'll be this Saturday at the Cavoc east of Rhinelander, benefiting the Northwoods Veterans Homestead. The opening ceremony will be at 10 o'clock with the run and walk taking off about 15 minutes later. The cost to register for people ages 16 and up is $30. Youth under 15 will cost $25. And again, pre-registration is appreciated. Just scan that QR code to sign up.
Now, your 9 Storm Track weather forecast.
And Jackson's back now with a full check of our forecast.
Looking pretty nice out there right now, and it looks like that is going to continue as we move forward. Very little change in our upcoming forecast. Here's a look at what we're tracking as we move throughout the next few days. Some patchy morning fog once again returning for tomorrow, at least in some spots. We'll see warm weather ahead once again. Temperatures today about 5 degrees warmer than average, and by the end of the week, we could be seeing temperatures about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than average. A sunny and dry forecast as well. Lots of bright skies as we move the rest of the week. Our clouds and radar view not showing much across the map. You can see a little bit of cloud cover here on the eastern side of the state. Otherwise, nice bright skies across Wisconsin. As we zoom over to the west and northwest, it doesn't look like anything is headed our way, so we should remain on the clear side as we move forward. As we mentioned, the bit of fog will be the only real cloud cover or gray skies. We're expecting maybe some low clouds during the early morning hours. Same as what we showed yesterday, the chance of rainfall extremely low with this dry weather. You can see our rain estimate over the next 7 days, almost zeros across the board here in Wisconsin. Our temperature tracker also showing things warming up as we move into the later part of the week. We're expecting a high near 74 for both Thursday and Friday. Saturday, we're jumping all the way up to 78 and 77, and Sunday will be at 78. As we mentioned, that is about 10 degrees warmer than average for this time of year. For those south of Wausau, or if you happen to be traveling into southern Wisconsin, looking at a good shot of 80s this weekend. So it is going to be feeling a lot more like summer than it will be the early start of fall. You can see our 70s continue into next week, and it does look like we should have sunshine for next week as well. In terms of how long this pattern is going to last, the Climate Prediction Center has issued their outlook into the early start of October, showing still about a 30 to 50% chance for higher than warmer than average weather, I might say. So it's going to get pretty warm over the next couple of weeks, or at least stay consistently warmer than average. Our future track forecast not showing much for the rest of tonight. As we mentioned, we might see a little bit more of that fog pop up during the early morning hours. Here's a look at 6, 7, and 8 o'clock on our Thursday. After about 9 o'clock, though, the fog lifts, and we should have some beautiful sunshine for a Thursday throughout the rest of the day. As we move throughout our Friday, another chance of some early morning thin cloud cover, then clearing into sunshine for our Friday afternoon. So another beautiful day out there on Friday. Saturday could also start with some low clouds and fog, but should roll into some sunshine for the afternoon. Our high temperatures across the area today, low 70s, upper 60s. Overnight forecast tonight down to 48, a little bit cool in some spots. We are looking at calm winds, allowing for that patchy fog. Daytime high tomorrow around 74. So pretty nice weather. You can see our visibility is going to be just a little bit decreased for the morning, clearing by the afternoon. Sunshine continues in the forecast, 70s as well, so go out and enjoy.
More people are surviving cancer in the United States, but a study released today finds your likelihood of surviving cancer may have something to do with where you live. Mandy Gaither has more on the so-called ZNA and how researchers say it affects cancer survival.
First, some good news. The overall cancer death rate in the U.S. dropped 34% between 1991 and 2022, averting about 4.5 million deaths. But the bad news, not everyone is seeing this shift in their battle against cancer.
Where people live can determine whether they live from cancer, and not by a small amount.
In a new study from the American Cancer Society, researchers say the overall 5-year cancer survival rates for each stage of cancer were lower in rural areas for both Black and white U.S. residents, which means your odds of surviving cancer aren't only based on biology, says Dr. Arif Kamal.
This study is now speaking to the importance of someone's ZNA, their zip code, right? As we might think about someone's DNA, this idea that where you live and its location and distance from highly specialized care, including clinical trials, can determine whether you live from cancer.
Kamal says the first step in closing the gap is to be aware that there is one, and that rural residents may not have access to specialized services like radiation or to surgeons experienced in treating their specific disease.
So that means that people are, instead of having to go to cancer care, that cancer care is coming to them. And this looks like a lot of different forms. Smaller cancer centers throughout the country, even home-based cancer care delivery show a lot of promise in how we can close this gap.
Let's get a final check of our forecast now with Jackson.
Yeah, continuing to look pretty nice as we track forward. You can see a lot of sunshine on the map here. Temperatures consistently in the 70s. Now, this is going to be a very warm and summer-like weekend to get outside. Saturday high 77, Sunday a high of 78. That has increased from yesterday. We could see maybe a couple of 80s pop up across the state.
It's crazy to see at the end of September.
Sure is.
That does it for us here at 5. World News Tonight with David Muir is next.
Have a good night.